We're joined by a football fan and friend of mine, Chuck Todd, for some of the takes on this. I just want your sort of gut reaction to what we saw yesterday and the way we're already seeing the sides sort of break down in terms of their way of framing it.
Look, I sort of view this way. The campaign that's talking about the trial is losing. Okay, the more you talk about this trial, the more you're losing with the voters you need to win. Why do I say that? First of all, there's plenty of evidence to back this up. I can take you back to the Bill Clinton impeachment in 1998. Republicans thought for sure running against Monica Lewinsky was going to be a winner for them. It was not. Voters were like, guess what? We
care about our lives.
Not only that, we already knew this about Bill Clinton. We factored his character into our decision to vote for him in 1992. Access Hollywood tape. Everybody's going, how can Republicans be rallying around Trump so easily this time? Well, fool them once, shame on you, right? Fool you twice. Well, Access Hollywood tape, the Republican Party walked away from him, but voters did. And that's why I think this trial is not going to have an impact. Because for the same reason, the Clinton impeachment had no impact. Voters knew Trump's moral failings before, and they voted for him anyway. People would even say it. You heard it in some of that sound that Shaq had. So I think I think if you're relying on this, whether you're Trump and think it's a grievance thing is a good idea, you're going to turn off the middle. And if you're Biden and you run on it too much, you celebrate too much. Look, this is a sad day for America. Hard stop. There shouldn't be any celebrate. If you're celebrating, you're part of the problem. This is why this country is being ripped apart. He brought this on himself. That's also a fact, too, at the end of the day. Let the legal world debate whether Alvin Bragg should have brought this or not. I think there's a lot of evidence that Alvin Bragg has still been the best thing for Trump's campaign. Without the Alvin Bragg indictment, I think Donald Trump has a much harder time in the primaries. It's just a fact of when that indictment happened was at a moment that Trump desperately needed something to rally Republicans around him. So it is, in that sense, it has been weirdly helpful to him up until this point. But if you're talking about it, I think the mistake would be what Trump's doing now, trying to make it part of his campaign.
You saw that news conference today, and Dasha said it felt like it was political, a campaign speech. That's all there is a campaign speech, and this is what it sounds like.
And here's the thing. The voters are going to punish whatever candidate is not talking about the issues that they want to talk about. This is why I think the democracy message is not working for Biden. If you care about the democracy, you've already made your decision who you're voting for. The voters that are left are the voters that are going, I want to buy a house. It's too expensive. Or I'm really frustrated by this, or I'm frustrated by that. They're looking forward. Campaigns that relitigate the past are destined for failure. So I think that's the way you got to look at this. I think we may see a short-term bump for Biden, just like we saw a short-term bump for Hillary Clinton right after the Access Hollywood tape. And it disappeared almost as quickly as that bump happened. So I ultimately think this is still going to be about the person that promises a better kind of change in their second term. And if talking about the trial is not a way to do that.
Mike, let me ask you about that in particular. Chuck makes a good point right now, right? And you and I have both been on the trail and you talk to voters there. Often the voters you meet at his events are the ones who support Joe Biden, but you go a few blocks away and you talk to some of these other voters right now, and they're not concerned about the sort of, message of the day. They want to know, hey, what's in it for me? How are you going to make the prices of my groceries cost less? How are you going to make it easier for me to buy a home or for my child to be able to, afford moving out of the house right now? How do they get back to that message when the guy has not been successful in breaking through the noise of this season?
Every single demographic, every poll shows the number one issue, cost of living, inflation. And the Biden team has seemed to concede that there's nothing they're going to be able to do to fix the inflation problem. So they're trying to make this a whose side are you on, who are you fighting for question. The president may have some economic announcements to make over the course of the rest of the year to try to say we're bringing costs down, we're trying to forgive student loans, to put more money in your pocket. But the real contrast they're really hoping to seize on this trial, to the extent that they are, is he is only worried about his own interests, his own whether he's free or not, convicted or not, and the president is fighting for people, including the middle class where he grew up on. So they're trying to make it a stylistic whose side are you on argument.
Chuck, last thought, the next big shakeup moment is going to be this debate on June 27th here. The Biden campaign wanted this thing early because they needed to shake things up right now to try to find a way to break through. It is performative in a lot of ways here. How much does it matter?
Look, I think it matters to both of them at this point, right? You got to see, has Trump gotten over his grievance, right? There's a couple of ways this debate could go. Perhaps Biden is able to bait Trump into only talking about his legal problems. Perhaps Trump is able to bait Biden into sort of getting angry, and then they're just sitting there cursing at each other, right? And my great fear of this debate is for the country, that you do have these two guys start yelling at each other, perhaps cursing on national television, our two presidents for the first time, and all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of new Kennedy-curious voters. That could be the unintended consequence of this early debate, is that it gives a new opening to Kennedy to have a conversation with turned-off voters.
Yeah, as John Meacham said earlier, it has been Donald Trump who's on trial. Pretty soon it's America that's on trial, and Americans are going to have to render their verdict coming pretty soon on all of this. Chuck, Todd, I appreciate you. Mike Memley.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.